living like a stage. Hey, hey, 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 love yourself first, explicitly. You overtook yourself to move with that energy. Empower your self-esteem. Self-love is king. That's the only way to win. That's how you empower your dream. Living like a stage. Hey, hey. Living like a stage. Hey, hey. Living like a stage. Hey, hey. Living like a stage. Hey, hey.
Hey, oh my goodness, it has been forever since I have done a live stream. And I'm like, okay, I have my new formula, my new schedule on how I'm going to do stuff. Hey, how are you, Chris? Yes, it has been a long time. But things have opened up. My screen was blurry. So anyway, my camera was blurry, but it's been a long time since I have done a live stream. But I'm like, okay, I have this new formula. I'm going to be uploading pre-recorded content 3 times a week. And so I was trying to figure out what else I could do to make sure that I'm just maximizing. Thank you so much, Chris. Maximizing my platform now that I have more time. The business is running like a well-oiled machine, and I am so grateful for that. And so I just have a little more time. The book launched, everything was awesome with that. I've been doing speaking engagements. I was just recently on NBC5 being interviewed about the book. I mean, things could not be going better, but I'm just the type of person that I can't really sit still, right? So whenever time opens up, whenever my schedule opens up, I'm like, okay, what else can I be doing? And it has to be something that is going to make an impact. It has to be something that makes sense. Like, I'm not a hobby person. I'm the type of person where I need to be doing something that is productive, that's making an impact. I don't like just doing busy work. And I talk about that in a lot of my sessions, that there is definitely a difference between being busy and being productive. And I'm going to choose productive every single time. Like, I'm not the type of person who watches a lot of TV. I don't watch a lot of movies. I mean, and no shade to people who do those, but those kind of things just don't relax me. They actually frustrate me a lot. So whenever my time opens up, I'm always looking for another productive or impactful way of spending my time. So I figured, what better way than to continue to grow my social media? I'm almost at the 1,000 mark. I think I'm like at 975 subscribers now. I'm like, okay, it's been a long time coming in my Sam Cooke voice, but we are just about there. But again, social media for me has never been about the monetization, because social media came for me at a time when I was already a full-blown businesswoman. So I have always used it as a tool, but it's just funny that, but now I think I might look at it a little differently. It may need to be another stream of income because, again, my time is opening up. I have things that I can be doing. So I thank you for the couple of you who have already jumped on. I know anybody who is getting like the alerts or whatever that I'm live are like, what is she doing live? Because I just literally decided to do this live a little while ago. Wallace and I have been having a great weekend celebrating 6 years in business with iSalt. So today is our official 6-year business anniversary. So we kind of hung out a little bit this morning, went on a nice trail walk down by the Trinity River, and then we went and picked something up to eat at Doc B's. I had their, what is it? What do they call it? Knife and fork Cobb salad. Oh, it was so good, so good. So I ate healthy. I ate healthy because I wasn't going to let that long walk go to waste. And so when we got home, I was like, you know what? I have some time. So I don't feel like just watching TV or whatever. So let me jump on and do a live. And so I decided to do a live on what it means to have to pivot in life, because sometimes, because we are at that halfway mark of the year, a little past the halfway mark. And now is a good time to start thinking about pivoting if you have a need to, because whatever it is you had set out to do in the beginning of the year just isn't going the way that you desired or hoped it would. Because what I don't want to see any of you do is stay committed to something and keep, hey, Country Hustle, how are you? Stay committed. Thank you for being here. Stay committed to something or keep giving your energy, your talent, your treasures, your time, your finances to something that just isn't working for you. And that's why I'm not a huge fan of the New Year's resolutions and the vision boards and all of that on the first of the year, because I think that makes people feel like they are going to have to stick to this no matter what. They think it's some kind of contract and they have to stick to it, or it makes people give up when things aren't working right within the first, couple of months. They're just like, okay, I give up, and feel like they can't start over until next year. And I am not at all that type of person. Like, I'm not even a Monday person, right? You know how sometimes people will have that heart to heart with themselves that they need to start eating healthier, or they need to start exercising, or they need to start reading, or they need to start whatever it is, but they'll say they'll start Monday. And my thing is, what if today is only Tuesday? What if today is only Monday? Like, you're going to wait a whole 7 days, a whole week to get started. By that time, so many things will happen and you'll forget about it. So I'm the type of person that as soon as you realize you need to do something, or as soon as feel like you need to stop doing something, act on it right now. Don't feel like you have to wait until whatever the calendar says is the beginning, whether it's the beginning of the year, the beginning of the week, the beginning of the month, to start something new. And let me let y'all know this little bit of information that I think we forget. Monday is not the first day of the week. Why so many people put things off and say that they're going to start on Monday is beyond me. Because Monday, typically for most people, especially if you are in corporate America or if you have kids that are in school and things like that, Monday can be a very busy, chaotic, hectic day. I don't know why people choose Monday. When you choose Monday to start something new, when you choose Monday to pivot, you're coming really close to setting yourself up for failure unless you are super, super, super locked in and super, what's the word I'm looking for? Committed to that. And you have all the willpower in the world. Because Monday is not a good day. Like, why do y'all think so many restaurants have like family days on Mondays and Tuesdays, and the discounts on Monday and Tuesdays? Because people are usually still shuffling around on Monday and Tuesday, still trying to get their bearings from the weekend. For me, if I'm going to do something, I like to set things up for like Thursday if I'm going to do that, because Thursday, you're just about through the week, not quite to the weekend. Like, Thursdays are just chill days for me. And I like to prepare for the week on Sunday. Like, I'm not waiting until Monday. But sometimes you do have to just know when to say when, and know when enough is enough. And when you reach a point where you feel like it is time for you to pivot, when you feel like you need to do something different, when you feel like what you're doing is no longer working for you, is no longer serving you, there is no shame in that. Like, don't feel like you're a failure just because you have to do something different than what you initially planned. None of us really know how something is going to go until we get there. Like, there are certain things that you may think you are going to love so much based off of what you read, or based off of what you've seen, or somebody else's experience, but you really don't know how that's going to fit for you and your lifestyle until you do it. And that's okay. Like, exploration is a part of life. And I think when we're younger, we're more okay with that. And we feel like, we don't even think about it as much. But when we get older, we feel like when we switch around and do stuff different, that shows instability, or that, you should be at an age where you know exactly what you want to do. But that's not true. Like, things can look a certain way, and you may be like 100% sure in your mind that this is what you want to do. But once you get there, it's just that's not that, which is fine. Like, I hate when I see my clients being miserable in a career that they've been in for decades, and they've been unhappy for so long, but they were just too ashamed to tell their family or friends or spouse that they didn't like it. And sometimes there's like extremes. I know people who have been in the medical profession because they wanted to help people, they want to care for people, but then they get in the medical profession and realize they don't like touching people, or certain things gross them out. But they continue to do it because, well, my whole family, knows me as a nurse or a doctor. And what I really want to do is I want to start a business renting out cabins in the woods, because over the last couple of years, I've really gotten into hiking and mountain climbing. But nobody's going to take me seriously if I say I want to decide to be, this person who takes people on tour. Who cares? Your happiness is up to you. And nobody else can tell you what's going to fulfill you. No one else can tell you what's going to bring you joy. So don't stay in a career, don't stay in a business that is not bringing you joy just because you're afraid of what it would look like to other people. Because if people really love you and people really care about you, what they're going to want first and foremost is for you to be happy. They're going to want you to be happy. They're going to want you to be fulfilled. And that is totally up to you. And sometimes you get in these careers that, a lot of people retire from and do for decades and decades. But you realize, yeah, I enjoyed it for the first 15 years, but I'm burnt out. I don't want to do this for 25 years. That's fine, because guess what? There is no need for you to sacrifice your quality of life just to fulfill some retirement plan or whatever. It's like life is too short. And I have learned that lesson over and over again. And every time something happens and I lose a friend or I lose a family member or I see someone who has lost a child, just like we have had major flooding in Texas, and I'm sure most of you have heard about it because it has been national news. And all of those people who have literally lost their babies, and then other people who have lost their moms and dads, I am sure none of them are thinking that I wish I had more time to work, or I wish I. No, they want the times to do the things that bring them joy. Hey, Jim, how are you? Thank you so much for being here. And you have a blessed week as well. I really appreciate you. Like, I didn't know if anybody was going to show up today, but y'all know me. I'm bold. I'm confident. I would be sitting here talking if there was nobody. Now, I'm so grateful y'all are here, but that's the thing. And it kind of goes in line with what I'm saying. You have to make decisions and do the things that are going to fulfill you, no matter what anybody else says, no matter whether anybody else is supporting you, no matter whether anybody else shows up. Like, I would have been bringing the same energy if this said 0, because if I was worried about that, I would have been like, okay, I'll just wait and do my live next week. So then I can go ahead and put it out there and market it for a few days. But it's like, no, it's going to make me happy. I felt like I wanted to go live today, so I went live. But it's just an issue that I think so many people have. And it makes me sad because there is no reason for you to avoid the pivot, avoid the change, just because you don't want people to think you're not stable. Like, I don't care. I have done so many things. So my first legitimate business, because I've always been kind of a hustler on the side, right? But my first legitimate business with an LLC, with a business plan, all that, was an event planning business. And I did that for many years. And I enjoyed it for a time. It ran its course. There is no way I want to do that anymore. And so I didn't. I had a tax business that was successful. And that's the thing. A lot of people think that when they pivot, when they do something different, that's going to automatically make people think that they were a failure or they weren't successful. But first of all, like I keep saying, Who cares what people think? It's nobody's business. But if you're questioning yourself, let me be the one to tell you, I have been fortunate enough to never have an unsuccessful business. And I'm not saying that to brag or boast. I'm saying that to drive a point home, because I have had several businesses that I either stopped, dismantled, sold, or whatever. And every single time it was because it was no longer serving me, not because it wasn't making any more money. We had a trucking business. We owned 18 wheelers. It's kind of hard not to be successful in that, because what you know for sure is every time you get on the road, what are you going to see? Big old trucks. And a lot of those big old trucks were mine at one point. Cobalt Transportation. We were hauling everything from mail to Pepsi to shoes to whatever. But I hated it. It drove me crazy. I didn't like it. That's not where I thrive. That was a business we started because it was something my husband wanted to do at that time. He was still working full time. So of course he was, looked at me because I'm the entrepreneur, I'm his wife, I'm going to hold it down. But I hated it. And then he realized he didn't like it that much either. Thank you so much for the thumbs up, whoever did that, because I forgot to ask for that. Y'all, please hit a thumbs up on the video and let the people know that you like what you see. But I hated it. And so we pivoted. Like I said, I had an event planning business. I had a tax business. I had a trucking company. We had a cleaning business. Y'all, I've had so many businesses, I can't even count. But it wasn't until we started ISALT, Institute for Success and Leadership Training, where we are celebrating 6 years today, which that's not my longest running business, but it's the happiest I've ever been, because I knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur. And a lot of my other businesses, now at the time I was passionate about event planning. So I enjoyed event planning. I liked it. Oh, I also had a real estate business. I enjoyed event planning, but when I left Virginia Beach and moved to Fort Worth, Texas, it just was a lot, because event planning, it's not only about making relationships, because I'm really good at connecting and making and building relationships, but it's not only building relationships to build your clientele. You need to have relationships with, people who own venues, different vendors, distributors, and it takes a long time to build those relationships. And to be quite honest, I just didn't have the time and the energy to kind of start that from scratch. So I never really did it. I think I did like 2 events here in Texas when I first moved here, but I did enjoy that. And so I kind of, stopped doing that for other reasons. But other than that, a lot of my businesses have been more about money. And I learned that lesson years ago, that anything that you're doing specifically for the financial gain probably isn't going to work. Country House said, I have a trucking business. I'm grateful, but it's not my thing either. Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. And sometimes, you kind of do what you got to do, but don't ever be afraid to pivot to do that thing that's going to make you money and also bring you joy. And sometimes that means doing 2 things at one time, because I get that, everybody can't. And I always couldn't just say, oh, I'm not doing this anymore. No, I still needed to do it until I did something else. But when you start working on another plan, when you begin that pivot, that business or that job that you don't like so much starts to hit a little different, because you look at it now as your investor, right? It's no longer your bread and butter. It's no longer this thing you have to do because you see a way out. Hey, Susanna, how are you, Ladybug? Thank you so much. I appreciate you. It's so good to see you here. But it just hits a little different. And that's what I used to tell my son, my middle son, because he was born an entrepreneur. That boy, he was selling candy in 4th grade. He has always been an entrepreneur. And so he knew that he didn't have that regular path of, high school, college job. He never wanted that. He knew he wanted to be a videographer, a photographer. He knew he wanted to do that. And he never just wanted a typical job. But he understood when I was explaining to him that, you can't just become an entrepreneur overnight. Well, let me rephrase that. You can't just become a successful entrepreneur overnight, because becoming an entrepreneur really only means getting your paperwork together, having a name for your business, and kind of knowing what you want to do. But you're not successful until you're actually making a living, right? Where you can support yourself, or at least you're making some sort of profit. And so he realized when I told him, you have to get a job. And he's like, well, there's nothing I want to do. I'm not going to like this. You don't have to like it. What you need to like is that future. What you need to like is the future you, what you want to do. And then realize that this job that you may hate is only temporary. And you hate it a lot less and it's a lot more tolerable when you know that it is investing in your business. And so if you're looking country hustle to get out of the trucking business, if there's somebody else on here who has a job and they're looking at getting out of their job, whether it is going into a new career or a business, I'm always going to speak towards business because I am so entrepreneurial, but it works in any way. But just start putting those things in motion. So if it's another career path you want, if it takes a certification, if it takes going to school, be grateful that you have that current business or that current job that can pay for you to go to school, that can pay for you to get that certification. And then that's what you look at that as. So it's no longer your job, it's your investor, and you see a way out, because I don't want to see you quitting your job or closing your business with no plan, with no finances. But again, it's different when that paycheck, but then you have to be smart about it. And sometimes that means living a little differently with your finances, making sure that instead of buying clothes, going on vacation, there may be a couple of years of sacrifice where you're not doing the same thing because that income is no longer to just support your lifestyle, right? You have to remember, I'm pivoting here. I'm shifting. I'm moving into a new business. I'm moving into a new career. So I may not have the funds to do all of the fun stuff, but what is more fun than investing in yourself? I don't know if y'all saw one of my last YouTube videos. It might have been the very last one or the one before. I don't remember because I've been putting up so much content lately, y'all. I can't remember. But it was investing in you. Like the biggest, most rewarding investment you can make is in yourself. And I know some people listening might feel like that sounds selfish or overindulgent, like the only investment we're supposed to invest in other people. But listen to this though. When you invest in yourself, when you make sure that your cup is always overflowing, when you live your life, LYE, love yourself first explicitly, guess what? You're going to be able to show up for people even more. It's going to make you an even bigger giver. It's going to make you an even stronger supporter. Why? Because you feel good about you. You're comfortable in the skin that you're in. Don't ever feel like you have to be worn out, burnt out, tired, struggling, busted, and disgusted in order to be there for other people. Don't wear that as a badge of honor. I know so many people, are like, oh, I'm so tired and drained, but, people need me. And I'm just always like, that is not impressive to me. I'm impressed when you can be there for other people, pour into other people, and you still feel great. And when you invest in yourself, when you love yourself first explicitly, when you do the things that keep your cup overflowing, when you don't overextend yourself and say yes to every single thing, even when you don't have the bandwidth, even when you don't have the energy, when you are able to show up for people, they're going to get quality from you. And so investing in yourself is so important, because I'm sure a lot of you can relate to being in the job or running the business that's wearing you out. How are you showing up for your kids and your spouse when you get home? You're probably short with them. Now, are you still cooking dinner? Absolutely, you are. Are you still keeping the house clean? Yes. Are you still paying the bills? Yes. But what type of attitude are you doing it with, right? You got an attitude because you're mad, you're tired, you're drained, you haven't filled your cup. You're not giving from the overflow. You're giving the last little slip. You're giving that part that you can hear when you suck on the straw. That's what you're giving. You don't want to give that. And so invest in yourself. Don't ever feel guilty for investing in yourself. And so that's a part of the pivot. You can't just have this idea that I want to do something different. There needs to be action behind it. And with action, any action needs to have a plan first. So it's like, okay, I'm tired of this job. I'm tired of this business. It's time to make a change. I don't care what anybody else thinks. I'm not asking for anybody's opinion, because that's another thing. Stop taking unsolicited advice from people who are not qualified, because your mama and them don't know. They've never been an entrepreneur. That's new to them. They just need you to have that good city job with that pension. So they don't understand. And that's okay, because that's not your relationship with them. If you need advice, go seek wise counsel. And I'm not saying that your mom, your sister, your auntie, your best friend isn't good counsel for certain things, but they can't advise you on things that they don't understand and they've never done. And so a lot of times when they are saying negative things and you feel like they're trying to hold you back from doing what you want to do, it's just because they're afraid for you. And that's okay, because it's not their race to run. And so seek wise counsel, but make your plan. Get on Google, research, see what it's going to take. How much money do I need to start this business? What kind of certifications do I need for this job? And start doing those things. Every pivot needs a plan. But you can't just want to do something without acting. But you also don't want to give yourself too much time, because a lot of times, and I did a TikTok on this today. So that's what I'm saying. Y'all need to be following Stay Hall on all things social media, at Stay Hall on TikTok, at Stay Hall on social media. I used to have banners on here. I have not used, y'all, I have been paying for this StreamYard for so long and not even using it, just throwing money away, right? And that's not smart. So don't follow my lead on that, but that is not smart at all. But if you're not already, follow me on TikTok, follow me on YouTube, all the things. But I made a TikTok today, I think it was this morning, about giving yourself too much time to make decisions. I'm not saying you should make snap decisions and just, do things without even thinking about it. But what I'm saying is stop overthinking, because most of the time when we start seriously thinking about making a pivot, making a change in our life, it's not the first time we thought about it, right? But if you're real honest with yourself, when you're having that serious conversation with yourself. Like, I've been feeling this for about a year or so, but I wasn't really sure, but the feeling's not going away. I'm still having those dreams. Do y'all have those dreams? I have those dreams. I'm still having the dreams about what I want to do. I can't shake this feeling. Okay, I'm ready to go. Once you get to that point, don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. Just do it. Start researching. Start putting your plan in motion, because when you overthink it, you're going to talk yourself out of it. Because guess what? Yes, it is scary. Guess what? Things are going to go wrong. It's not going to be easy, but don't talk yourself out of it. And you definitely don't want to start having conversations about it with those people that I was just talking about, the people who have never done it before, the people who only see you one way, the people who are so afraid for you and they don't want to see you fail because they love you so much. Don't do that, because once you start talking to those people, then to me, that tells me that you're not trusting yourself and you're really wanting them to talk you out of it. Sometimes decisions are made for you. Be open. Right. You always have to have an open mind, and you always have to be aware, right? And just pick up on the cues, pick up on the signs. But don't just start talking to people and asking them what they think, because the people who love you the most are always going to lean towards whatever seems most safe, which is great, because they love you and they care about you and they don't want you coming to have to move in with them when it don't work. But hey, J3, how are you? Yes, it has been a while, but I am back. I am back for the foreseeable future. Things have opened up for me. I have more time. So I'm like, let me get back into this. I've been uploading content. I never stopped uploading content, but I did stop going live. But yeah, those people are afraid for you. They don't understand. Hey, Lacey J all day. What's up, baby girl? So glad to see you here, Niecy Poo. But those people don't understand. And so, that's what I was doing the TikTok about. It's just like, once you start asking other people, I feel like you're looking for a reason. Like, well, I don't want to do it because, mama and them feel like, it's not a good idea. And I don't want to. Don't do that. Talk to people about the results. Talk about people about what happened. Like, talk to people about things once you're in it. So then you're able to speak on it in confidence, because all of us, when we start something new, we're nervous in the beginning, right? Because you don't know. You don't know what you don't know. You don't know how that experience is going to feel. So if you're coming to your mom, your sister, your best friend, whatever, with this idea of something you want to do, but you're still nervous about it, which is completely normal. But of course, they're going to be nervous about it too. And then they're going to have questions that you're not even able to answer. So just wait to share until you have more confidence, until you have more information, and reach out to those people who know a little something about what you're doing to get the advice and information that you need to do it. And sometimes, and a lot of times, most times, I'm going to say, they're probably not people that you know. And so you're going to have to get involved with organizations and groups and things like that with like-minded people, because that's also going to settle your spirit. And that is a great place to find mentors. That's a great place to find support. And so whatever it is that you want to do, I guarantee you, there is some kind of organization somewhere where you can get involved and start learning things. But if you want to do something new, the last thing you should do is go talking to your friend or family member about, I want to leave my job and start um an animal rescue farm, and they don't even, have a puppy. Like, you know what I mean? Of course they're going to say that's the craziest thing in the world, and what kind of money, especially if you're trying to start a nonprofit, because a lot of people don't understand what a nonprofit is and the fact that you can get a salary from it. Like, all people hear is nonprofit, which means to them no money. So yeah, you don't want to do that, but you do. And now we live in a day and age with YouTube and things like that, where it is easy to find wise counsel. It's easy to find a way to surround yourself with like-minded people, because we can do stuff like this, right? You don't have to be face to face. So you can find different types of online groups to be a part of, sessions to be a part of. Y'all know I'm here. So if anybody is looking for that coach, that support system to help them pivot, to help them go to their next, to help them leave whatever spot it is that they are not comfortable in or unhappy with, whether it's a career, whether it's a job, to do what's next, I'm your girl. Do it all day, every day. I love helping people reach the level of success that they desire and deserve. I love helping people find their joy. I love helping people move in their passion and their purpose. I don't like to say find their passion and their purpose, because a lot of times people already know what their passion and their purpose is. They just don't know how to live in it. And there is a way. Some people think that whatever it is that they're passionate about, there's no way that they can make money doing it. And I'm going to tell y'all, there is hardly anything out here that you do that somebody won't pay you to do. You just have to figure out how you can make what you do a problem solver for someone else. I have told this story a million times about the people who ended up having a multi-million-dollar business from scoop and poop. Because guess what? Poop scooping is a problem. People don't enjoy it. People don't have time to do it. So guess what? They'll pay somebody to do it. So you have to, let me see, I am looking to get some certifications by the end of this year. That is awesome. So let me tell y'all this little nugget. So Harvard University, which is a major Ivy League university, if you go to the Harvard University website, I think there's a tab that just says certifications. I'm not sure. You can probably just Google Harvard University certifications. You can get certifications for all different types of things from Harvard University, and some of them are even free. Now, the free ones, I don't think you actually get like your certificate in the mail or whatever, but you are able to go through the courses. Like, they have everything from different stuff with the arts. They have things for leadership. All different things, but they also have some that you pay for, but they're like $700, $1,200. They are not very expensive. I think the courses are like 6 to 12 weeks. Some of them you do it online, but even the ones that are free, that may not give you a paper certificate, you still have completed that course. So it's still something you can put on your resume. And to say that I got a leadership certification from Harvard University. So just something to think about, Lisa J, when you're looking into your certifications. I don't know exactly what you want to get it in, but they have a plethora of certifications. If you're looking to get certified in soft skills and emotional intelligence, I can help you with that, because my company, iSalt, offers that. But certifications are awesome because it doesn't take a degree for everything these days. So yes, please look into that, because they have them. And I'm sure, there's a lot of other ones, but yeah, I've done some of the Harvard University ones, and that looks so good when you put it on, because even as an entrepreneur, I still have to keep up a business resume, because there are a lot of companies that have not done business with me before, and they will ask me for my resume, my portfolio, my book of business, things like that. So I try to stay on top of that. And I'm someone who always wants to learn. Like I was telling y'all in the beginning of this video, I started YouTube again and going live and whatever, because I had some gaps in my time. I'm not somebody who likes idle time. I'm not somebody, one of my pet peeves is when I'm talking to somebody or, whatever, and they say the statement, oh, I'm just wasting time, or I'm just going to go over here and waste some time. I ain't got time to waste. I do not have time to waste. I want to be, and again, I'm not working 24/7. Like, I'm not going to say I never just sit out and just veg out. Like, I am into Beyond the Gates. Are y'all watching Beyond the Gates? That's a whole different topic for a different day. but I'm watching Beyond the Gates. I'm not a TV person. I'm definitely not a soap opera person, but I wanted to support. So Beyond the Gates is a Black soap opera, well, with a majority Black cast. And then Tamara Tooney, who plays the matriarch of the family, Anita Dupree. I grew up with Tammy Tooney. So yeah, she's a little bit older than me, so I've looked up to her forever because she did all the things I love to do. She's a singer, a dancer, an actor. A lot of people don't know that about her, but she can play the piano, she can sing. She used to do like these little one-woman shows at the library in the neighborhood. Love me some Tammy Tooney down. So of course I was going to watch that. But so yeah, I watch Beyond the Gates every night before I go to bed. We record it. I don't watch TV a lot either, J3, but I do have my little guilty pleasure. So Beyond the Gates is my one thing. That's kind of my wind down before I go to bed. And then once a year, which it is this time of year, I watch Big Brother. And I wasn't going to watch Big Brother this year because I just wasn't interested. But my best friend, Adrian, who I know y'all have heard about a million times, she watches it as well. And we talk about it every year. And so I told her the other day I wasn't going to watch it. And she was like, oh, yes, you are going to watch it. So Adrian, if you're watching or if you see this video, I am officially caught up with Big Brother. I think there's one on tonight, but I'm caught up. So I understood the assignment. So I did watch Big Brother. But I say all that to say is I'm not a person who believes in wasting time. I'm not the type of person who believes in idle time. So whenever there are some gaps in my schedule, I'm like, what else can I do to be productive? What else can I learn? Or who else can I help? Can I take on another mentee right now? Okay. Or maybe I want to get another certification. How can I elevate in my business? Because even though iSalt, and today again is our 6-year anniversary for iSalt, yay! But iSalt is doing its thing. It is running like a fine oiled machine. We have our staff up to speed. We've hired our teachers. We're doing all the things. And so it doesn't need me as much as it did on a day-to-day basis. But I still can think of what can I do to elevate iSalt? Is there something else that we can offer? Can I create some new curriculum? That's just me, because I am someone who cherishes every day I have on this earth. And I guess I have it fixed in my mind that if I ever get to the point where I'm stagnant and I'm just not doing anything and I'm still in my right mind and I'm able-bodied, as my grandmother would say, and have the activity of my limbs, God gonna be looking at me like, well, evidently you must not want to be here because you ain't doing nothing. So I make sure I do something. Like even this morning, we had no intentions on going down to the Trinity River and doing, I think we walked like 5 miles today. But when we woke up this morning, there wasn't a whole lot going on. And I was like, let's just get dressed and go walk by the river. We haven't done that in a while. And so we're having to get used to having some free time because we have been go, go, go. Because building a business is not for the faint of heart. It takes a lot of networking, building relationships. And I cannot say that enough, no matter what you're trying to do. And even in corporate America, a lot of people don't get the promotions they want, don't get the training they need because they neglect to network and build relationships and make connections at work. I teach a course on that. I go into, you have to network. If you want to elevate, it's going to take someone helping you. None of us are an island. None of us, you're going to hit a ceiling if you're trying to do it on your own. And so for these first 6 years, we have been working our butts off, building these relationships, making these connections, doing what we have to do. And we're going to continue to do that, but we just don't have to do it as much. We're not out there, grinding 6-7 days a week anymore. So we're not used to having any free time. And so when we except for like when we would vacation, and that's the thing too, we didn't even have a lot of vacations planned this year. And we don't even know how that happened. I think we were just so busy. This is, like I said, our 6 years, and this last year has just been the busiest for us. So much so we didn't even plan vacation. So we went on a cruise in May. We actually booked that cruise just 2 weeks before we went. And so we'll probably end up doing that again. We are going to Virginia Beach the last week of August. But anyway, I digress. We didn't have anything planned today on a Sunday, which is crazy. And we forgot it was even our 6-year anniversary until I think Thursday. Wallace was like, iSalt's been in business for 6 years, but we didn't have anything planned. And so instead of just laying around the house and doing nothing, we're like, let's go walk. Did you ever watch Generations Day? That was all Black. No, I never watched it, but I am aware of it. Yes, I am aware. And it's so funny. I remember hearing about it back in the day when it was out, but I never watched it, but then it has been mentioned several times since Beyond the Gates. But yes, I am aware of that. Um, but yeah, I was like, let's get up and go walk, because that's something, it's important to move your body. And it kind of goes in line with what I'm talking about this evening, because when you are kind of at that crossroads, when you are trying to make a decision on what your next pivot is going to be in your life, what you want to do next, taking care of yourself physically, moving your body, eating well, hydrating, definitely helps the thought process. I have been on this health and wellness journey for a while this time around, because I've done it before and got myself, because when I first started YouTube, if y'all go back and look at my intro video and some of my first videos, I was training for a marathon. That's how this whole YouTube thing started. I don't even know. Most of y'all probably don't even know that. But I was training for a marathon and I was writing my book. And so my book was entitled Running for Your Life. And that's because I was on this journey to self-love, completely understanding self-love and embracing and loving myself, flaws and all. And I was training for a marathon. So that's where Running for Your Life came from. And then, I didn't end up getting to run the marathon, but I did end up getting up to 16 miles. I ran 16 miles straight. But COVID happened. And no, it wasn't even COVID. I say COVID, but it wasn't COVID. Some hurricane happened. I can't remember what hurricane, but I used to do contract work for the federal government as a paralegal, and I worked for the Office of Disaster Assistance. And whenever there was a disaster, I would get called in to do paralegal work. And because it was a national disaster, we were about the business of helping people who had lost their homes, lost their businesses. So we would have to work like 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. And so I could not continue training. But hey, boo, what's up, Ty? Good to see you. Yes, I'm doing a live, right? Crazy, but I'm going to keep doing more. But anyway, that is how this whole YouTube thing started, was me training for the marathon and me and my sister telling me, because I didn't even know anything about YouTube. And again, that's the kind of person I am. Hey, Jamia, I don't think about it. Thank you so much for being here. I have missed y'all. But that's the kind of person I am. I don't overthink it. I was like, my cousin asked me to run the marathon. I had never thought about running a marathon before. And my dad used to run marathons all the time when I was a kid. And I ran track, but I never thought about running a marathon. Was having a conversation with my cousin. She runs marathons. She asked me to run a marathon. I didn't overthink it. I didn't ask a lot of people, what do you think? Do you think I should do this? No, I just did it. My sister was like, I think you would be so great on YouTube. I'm like, what is YouTube? Like, I had heard of YouTube, but I didn't know what a YouTube channel was. Like, I used YouTube back then just as a search engine, like how to sew on a button, how to take a screenshot on a Mac. Like, I didn't know that people had actual regular channels and blah. Like, I didn't know. But I was in Alabama with my sister this one weekend. She told me she thought I should have a YouTube channel. She turned me on to some different YouTube channels. We sat there all weekend watching people's vlogs, different stuff. I came home, I started a YouTube channel. And that's what I mean. You have to just jump, take a leap of faith. Don't overthink it. Don't have conversations with too many people. Just do it, because what is the worst thing that can happen? Because first of all, what I told you is whatever job you have now that is paying your bills, whatever business you have now, you keep that. Because people say, well, the worst that can happen, I could lose everything. Well, no, you're not going to lose everything if you plan. Don't leave a job or close a business till you have something else that's sustaining you. But in the meantime, just do it. What's the worst that can happen? It doesn't work. So what? You learned a lesson. You realize, okay, I'm good at this. I'm not good at this. I like this. I don't like this. And in the meantime, you're going to learn other things about yourself. You're going to get introduced to other things. Like, it wasn't until I started doing certain things that I find like what I love the best. And I just jump. Like, if something sounds interesting to me, if something seems like it is in my wheelhouse, I don't shy from it. I don't run from it. I always have a Barack Obama, yes, we can attitude. That's just me. I tell people all the time, I feel like I could do brain surgery if I had the right person to teach me. Like, there is nothing I think I can't do. And I want y'all to be like that too. But I have found out that there are a lot of things that I can't do. But I'm just like, okay, I just chalk it up to, okay, it was a learning experience. I tried. I try. I told y'all about all the businesses I've had. And, and this is from when I was a kid. I have played several instruments. I played the violin. I played the saxophone. I played the piano. I don't play none of them now, but I don't regret doing it because what I found out is that's not me. I am a music person, but I sing. That's what I do. I sing. So I just don't want y'all to shy away from it. I don't want you to stay stuck doing something you hate, doing something that's draining you, that's not bringing you joy, wanting to do something else and just not doing it because you're afraid or you're not sure how it's going to work or you don't know how people are going to think or you don't have those are excuses. And I do a whole session on that too. Excuses versus reasons. Like there is a big difference between excuses and reasons. Sometimes there are legitimate reasons why you can or cannot do whatever, but those are going to be far and few between. Other than that, it's excuses because even if there is a legitimate reason, there's always a workaround. There's always something else you can do. You can figure it out. You can do something. It's just how bad do you want it? And what I've learned through being a coach is some people are just habitual complainers and they really don't want to do anything about it. Those are the clients I end up firing because yes, I do fire clients because I don't have time for that. I want to, hey, Cece, how are you? Hey, Miss Gwen. Yes, absolutely. Don't stay stuck. Hey, Lisa. Hey, I'm so excited. I'm like, hey, y'all, what's up? Lisa, how are you? But, there are those habitual complainers. There's those people like, don't come to me as a coach telling me that you want something different, telling me that you feel stuck, telling me you want something. And then I'm helping you work through it. And you have all these different excuses on why you can't. No. So you just want to complain. Because we need to be talking about resolutions. We need to talk about how we can solve this. If all you're going to do is tell me why you can't, then guess what? You're not ready. You're not ready. And I would tell any of y'all, a coach is not here to push you to do what you're not ready to do. You need to already have your mindset together. A coach is here just to do, just like a coach on a football team, a basketball team, hockey, whatever. Those coaches, they have a team full of people who are already capable, right? Who have the mindset of what they need to do, right? These are top athletes. They know how to play the game. They know they are dedicated to the sport. They just need a coach to draw up the play so they can execute it. They need a coach to be able to watch them and see what's missing and what they can do better and help them work on it. The coach is not there to convince them to play football. The coach is not there to convince them to play basketball, right? So when you go to a coach, don't go to a coach looking for somebody to force you into something, because I know for me, that's not the kind of coach I am. I need you to have your mindset ready. You just need somebody to help you navigate it. You need somebody to draw up the plays so you can execute it. I'll even be your cheerleader / coach. That's fine. I'll be on the sideline, rah, sis, boom, bob, doing my little kickball change, but you already have to have the mindset. Let's see. Good evening, CC. Okay, y'all speaking to each other. Hey, CC. Coach is there to support you on your journey. Absolutely. I have to tell people that all the time. I am not here to convince you of what you can do. Now, I'm going to do that on sometimes, when we all have bad days. I get that. And I'm all for that. If you're having a bad day, if you need that little extra support, if you need that encouragement, yeah, absolutely. But I'm talking about just having to convince you that you need to do something. No, you need to already know what you want to do, boo, when you come to me. And then let me help you with that. And it's the same no matter what kind of coach, even if it's for weight loss, health, you have to have the mindset. And so sometimes what I have to tell people too, and I've had some people thank me for this. I've had other people be insulted by this, but I'm just going to say it is what it is. Sometimes you need to seek a therapist first to help you with your mindset, because I'm not a therapist, but a therapist can help you work through some of your limiting beliefs. A therapist can help you work through why maybe you have a lack of confidence, because a lot of times when we're indecisive, we complain a lot, we shy away from doing different things. It's because it's a lack of confidence, right? Oh, thank you, Ty. But it's because of a lack of confidence, and it's okay. So many people are afraid to say that they lack confidence or they have low self-esteem. It's nothing to be ashamed of. It's nothing. We've all been there at some point. Some people just stay in it longer, and it's probably because of something that happened as a child, something that happened in a relationship, something somebody said or did that just really stuck with you. And so you need somebody to help you untrain your mind. And that's okay. It's okay. But that's a part of the pivot and the plan. Figure out where you are and what you need. Are you at the very beginning stages where you maybe need a therapist to help you work through it? Do you need a coach, or do you really need to figure out what you need to do? Are you just in the research stages? Do all of that. Just don't stay stuck. Like Miss Gwen said, don't stay stuck. Don't be afraid of the pivot, because there's resources out there to help you do whatever it is that you want to do. And don't feel like, or don't let to convince yourself that you don't know what you want to do. You know what you want to do. And what I tell people all the time is, when you're really not sure what your passion is, when you really don't know what you want to do, you just know you're tired of doing what you're doing, go back and think of that 12-year-old you. What did you want to be when you were 12? You probably still want to be something similar to that. Because the reason why most of us are probably not doing what we wanted to do when we were 12 is either because somebody told us we couldn't do it, or maybe whatever we wanted to do, it seemed like we weren't going to make enough money doing it. Maybe it's because somebody forced us to do something else, whatever it is, but we probably wanted to do that. And I had one lady say, well, I wanted to be a princess when I was 12. Well, you probably still want to be some kind of princess. Now, not a princess with the tiara and all that, but what about being a princess was it? And as we talked, what she really wanted to do was be a fashion designer. She liked the clothes. She liked the bling. So it's anything, whatever it is. So don't think, oh, because you wanted to be a princess, you don't have anywhere to start. No, you have to think, what about that intrigued you? What was it about the princess life? And like I said, when I had the conversation with that lady, she wanted to be a clothing designer. She ended up doing that. She ended up opening up a boutique. There was her princess. She sells pretty things. She sells a lot of bling. She even sells tiaras, which is hilarious. And it's not even like that kind of shop with gowns and stuff, but because of that, she sells tiaras, which is so cool. So just think about that. Go back to that 12-year-old self, because for me, and I don't know about for anybody else, I could just speak from my experience, but when I've shared it with other people, it really has been like, that's just the time in life when we start thinking about it, right? We start thinking about what we want to be, and we're entering into middle school and all that stuff, where we're taking the real classes, and you kind of get to decide what type of classes you want to take. And that's when people first start kind of talking to you about careers and college and things. So that's why I say 12, but whatever it is, just go back to a time when you were sure, because that's what I love too about the younger years. A lot of times that's when we didn't have a lot of the doubts, because we didn't have a lot of exposure. We were not yet comparing ourselves to other people. That's when we had the purest thoughts. That's when we thought we could do anything, right? And so go back to that time, but don't convince yourself that you don't know what you want to do. You don't know what your passion is. It's just that you've been separated for a long time from it. You haven't had the opportunity to think about it. I wanted to be an actress, but I had someone completely break down my self-esteem, shattered it, but therapy has helped. Yes. Yeah. And that's what I mean. We can probably, all of us who have been through that, pinpoint exactly who it was, when it was, what it was that shattered our dreams. But I love the fact that you've gone to therapy, and I love the fact that you can pinpoint that, and it's never too late. That's the thing. Like I'm talking about Beyond the Gates, the matriarch of the family is older than me. Her husband is Clifton Davis, older. I mean, there's a lot of people who get started in careers. One thing that I'll never forget, and I did a video on this too, is my husband said one time in a sermon, consider not the calendar. And when he said that, that's kind of what catapulted me into a lot of things in my life, because I did get to this place, because I had my first son at 20 years old. I was married, I raised kids, and a lot of things I wanted to do, even though I did a lot, but I am such a go-getter. I just got to 45 and was like, oh my gosh, I haven't done any of the things I wanted to do in my life, and I'm too old to just get started. I've spent so much of my time doing all this other stuff and raising kids, and now I'm 45 years old and I'm too old. And so then he preached this sermon, yes, girl, consider not the calendar, because the calendar, we don't know how long we have on this earth, right? There are unfortunately kids who don't even live to see their first birthday, their 21st birthday. So for them, 21 was their life and it was a short life. But here I am at 53. I don't know if I'm going to live to be 55 or am I going to live to be 105? So as long as I'm still here, I have time. Calendar for me now is only a way to keep track of things. What am I doing today? What am I doing tomorrow? But calendar has no bearing on my life as far as what I can do and what I can achieve. I see on social media all the time women 75 years old still lifting weights and looking good and got on bikinis and being personal trainers or getting their master's degree at 80 years old, whatever. Like, I'm not going to do it. My friend Jody, I know y'all have seen Jody if you follow me on social media. She is away this weekend celebrating her good friend's father's birthday. And I think he's like 96. And he was out there doing all the dances. She was going live. Like, don't get stuck in that. And I allowed myself for a couple of years to be in this pity party as if I knew my expiration date. I'm like, but again, we're normal. And when you know better, you do better. And sometimes we can get down on ourselves. But no matter what that dream is of yours, you have breath in your body, you have access to resources, you still have a passion. Go after that. And for you, Lisa J, being an actress, I hope you are not at all considering not still going through with that, because when you look at TV, there's everybody on there. Somebody got to play the kids, somebody got to play the mama, somebody got to play the grandmama, somebody got to be the auntie, somebody got to be an uncle, because the things they portray on TV are real life people. There's not a family out there that's just full of 21-year-olds. So I'm just saying. And here's me, right? Y'all know I'm a firm believer, and I know there's a couple of people on this call right now. I'm saying on this call like I'm on a Zoom, on this video now. And Lisa, I'm going to call you out. I know you're one of them who I have shared with. If there is no one inviting you to their table, inviting you to your stage, then you create your own table and create your own stage. So Lisa J, if you don't feel like going out here and doing a bunch of interviews and casting calls and all that, girl, write a play and be your own leading actress in your play. I'm just a firm believer. To me, do y'all know how many times I have wanted to do something and I'm like, oh, I saw this conference and I saw whatever, and I wasn't invited to be a speaker. I wasn't whatever. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna just have my own conference, because guess what? If it's my conference, guess who can be the keynote speaker? Me. Because sometimes people just don't even see you that way. And so many times I've had my own events and done my own thing and then invited other people to my platform. But then it's opened so many doors. So don't be afraid to create your own stage, write your own play, write your own curriculum, have your own event, be your own keynote speaker. What they say, it's a sad dog that won't wag its own tail. I will create my stage, and I don't wait for people to invite me. I don't wait for people to tell me, hey, Lucretia, how are you? I don't wait for people because, and I don't get my feelings hurt, right? I don't get my feelings hurt, because what I do know for sure is everybody is not thinking about me. And you have to remember that too. Everybody's not thinking about you in a good way or a bad way. Like sometimes I think we're afraid to do things because we're worried about what other people will think, when a lot of times don't nobody even care. They ain't even paying attention. And then I think there's other times when we don't get invited to opportunities, when we're overlooked for certain things and we take it personal, when they just didn't think about you. I mean, everybody has a lot going on in their lives. And once you kind of come to that realization, things will be so much easier. I had to realize at a certain point in my life that I was nowhere near as important as I thought I was. Right? It's like, no, nobody's thinking about me. Nobody's thinking about me enough to be doing this stuff intentionally. Nobody is thinking about me enough to be overlooking me. I'm like, everybody got their own lives. They're doing their own things. And it just is a good place to be in, because I'm like, so why am I waiting for somebody else anyway? Because I can do this myself. Like, I know how to rent venues. I know how to make a flyer. I know how to come up with a theme. What I need somebody to invite me to their stuff for? Let me invite them to my stuff. And that's the thing. You talk about like being friendly and building relationships. Well, it's a two-way street. It's a two-way street. I just did a TikTok on that as well. Quit looking for support and start being support. Right? Quit looking for support and start being support. Because while you're being support, when you're showing up to other people's events, When you're donating your time, to your talents, and your treasures, then that's putting you out there. They're seeing you. That makes you top of mind. And even though the person who you're doing it for is probably not going to be the person who pays it forward to you, there's somebody else out there that you're going to then be on their radar, and they're going to be interested in what you're doing. Blessings is a revolving door. But you know what happens with a revolving door? It goes around, but the person in front of you goes here, and then you, and then there's a person behind you. The person behind you is not the same person in front of you. So you bless that person in front of you, and the person behind you might be the one who blessed you. Y'all pick that up after the video. But it's a revolving door. It's a blessing to be a blessing. And I know sometimes we can get tired and we feel like we give and give and give, but you got to make sure that you're planting your seeds in fertile soil. You have to make sure that you're planting your seeds in fertile soil, that what you're doing is going to grow and flourish, and that you're getting yourself in front of people and in the company of people who will recognize what you're doing, even if it's not the person that you're doing it for, but somebody's going to see you. But if you're going somewhere where it's not fertile soil, then you're not going to find quality people there anyway. So sometimes you have to go through that pruning period in your life. Sometimes you have to go through that self-inventory and see, where am I sowing my seeds? Where am I spending my time? Who am I sharing my thoughts with? Yeah, fertile soil, princess, fertile soil. That makes all the difference, right? That makes all the difference, because you can plant and plant and plant. If the soil's not fertile, it's not going to grow. No matter how much you water it, no matter how much you shine your sunshine, it's not going to grow, because it all starts with the soil. My pastor preached on that today. The soil is where it's at. So hopefully I've given y'all something to think about. It has been so much fun. I can't believe I've already been on here for an hour. I cannot tell y'all when I'm going to be back live, but I can definitely tell you I'm going to be back. But if you are not already subscribed to my YouTube channel, please hop over to YouTube, put in the @ and then Stay Hall, STAEHALL. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, because I am going to be dropping content and have been dropping content on there every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So we have Mindset Mondays, we have Wise Women Wednesdays, and Fierce Fridays. And then anytime in between, on a Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, your girl will be popping in live as much as I can. My husband and I will be coming back on our lives with the hallway. For those of you who don't know, we do a live together, or have been doing a live together, for couples and anyone who desires to be a part of a thriving couple, because I am of the mindset of get ready, stay ready, so you don't have to get ready. And so we're going to start that up again in September. But I'm going to be back, and I'll definitely be back next week. Like, I'm not going to go weeks and weeks and weeks and don't do lives, because I love interacting with y'all. I just don't want to put myself into a certain day and certain time, because I want to be able to be consistent. So Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, Mindset Monday, Wise Women Wednesdays, and Fierce Fridays are set, because I can batch record those videos and just have them ready to go. But the lives, I'm just not sure exactly what day. Like this Sunday evening felt kind of good to me. So we'll see what happens. But yes, the hallway is coming back. That's why I tell Wallace, I'm like, the only reason anybody really follows me is because y'all hoping that he shows up. I know everybody love Wallace, but he will be here with me. We're going to start that back up in September, and we have some great some great content coming and ideas we've been kicking around. Also, if y'all haven't already purchased the books, the hallway is still on my website, as well as Dispelling the Myth of the Angry Black Woman. Y'all, I was so excited when I got interviewed on NBC5 Texas Today the other day. I was so excited. I think I might put the clip of that on my YouTube channel. I'm not sure. I should have had it up to play for y'all today, but I was excited. It was such a nice interview. And then they went through all my social media and had gotten all these pictures. So some of you may even be in some of the pictures and the videos. They got video from my first book signing. It was just, oh, it was so nice. I mean, I'm not even gonna lie. Me and Wallace watched it like 5 times back to back on Friday when it first came on. So much so I was supposed to be going to a luncheon on Friday and ended up not even going because me and Wallace were sitting here watching my watching my interview, but it was really good. It was really good. And I was just so happy. And the reason we watched it so many times, it wasn't like we weren't really, it was because we kept talking and was like, oh, I missed that. What did I, because I had forgotten what I said and whatever, you know, but it was awesome. But yeah, so y'all check out the website, subscribe to the channel, follow me on TikTok, all the things. But I love and appreciate each and every one of you to bits and pieces. Always be kind and love one another, but don't forget to live your life. LYFE. Love yourself first explicitly. Happy Sunday, y'all. I'll see y'all tomorrow for Mindset Monday.
Living like a stage. Hey, hey. 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 Love yourself first, explicitly. You owe it to yourself to move with that energy. Empower your self-esteem. Self-love is king. That's the only way to win. That's how you empower your dreams. Living like a stage. Hey, hey.